What I'm going to do is combine a practice for osteoporosis and osteoarthritis. And I'll be saying as I go, this is good for X, this is good for Y. And we'll go, since everyone's standing, we're going to go ahead and start standing. So feet are about hip width apart and parallel, wherever on your mat you want to be. Actually stagger a little because we're going to be doing where we come up on the toes and come down. Arms can go out and up or forward and up. It's really up to you. And what this does, it's an axial extension pose. So we're lengthening and getting as tall as we can. It forces circulation to the feet. So I tell people to do it if they're traveling, you know, just to prevent blood clots. Create space in the spine through the axial extension and is good for strengthening the ankles. And to have healthy knees, you want strong ankles and open hips. It helps a lot to press through the big toe mound. Otherwise, your ankles go out to the side. And it looks easier than it is, just warning you. Belly in, tailbone dropping. Exhale completely. Just be careful you don't burn your hand on the light. Inhale, you're going to raise the heels and the hands. Heels can come up a little or a lot. Continue to expand the chest at the top. Exhale, come down nice and slow, landing your heels and hands at the same time as yourself. Inhale, belly in, heart lifted as you come up. Exhaling, coming down nice and slow. We're going to do 4 more. Inhaling to come up. Good. Exhaling down nice and slow. Inhaling to come up. Exhaling down. Inhaling to come up. This next time we're going to exhale and come halfway down. Good. And then inhale, come back up. And exhale, come all the way down. Olga gets extra credit because she's on a thick mat and a blanket. So that makes it far more difficult. And with seniors, and especially if there's osteoporosis, one hand can be on the wall. Or if someone has serious balance issues, they might feel sad that you put them in a corner. But you can put them in a corner so that the wall's here, so that if they start to go, you know, that's there. Does anyone have SI joint dysfunction? Okay, so I want you guys to be careful with this. We're going to do Warrior One coming in and out of the pose, which will be good for increasing circulation and synovial fluid to the knee, strengthening the quad, the whole upper thigh. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Oh. So let me just demonstrate first. So if there's the reason I asked about SI joint, we're going to do Warrior One, and that puts shear stress on the sacrum. So you can limit some of the shear stress by shortening the stance, and just be cautious about not taking the knee beyond the ankle. You just want to keep it over the ankle, coming in and out. And I always teach inviting people to have a hip width alignment because it's structurally more sound, especially if they have osteoarthritis in the hips and knees and lumbar spine. And it's just better for you. We'll square the hips forward. So first we're going to do, this is more of an osteopenia pose, and we're going to stress ourselves a little bit in a good way. Stress in a good way. So we'll inhale, come into the pose. Exhale out. We'll come in and out a few times. And then we're going to take it more into a humble warrior where you inhale, and as you exhale, you press forward and draw the shoulders back. You're going to keep your spine forward. Inhale by the ears. Exhale back. And we'll repeat that a few times. So take care of yourself. And if you're having, I know a lot of you flu, so if you're having a lot of tension here, that might annoy it. So don't feel like you have to do everything. Yeah.
Okay, because I like that.
Right, yeah, I'm thinking just from the spine, but yeah, I get kind of I get creative with names and just kind of take. Okay, so step your right foot back and your left foot forward. Square your hips towards the front so that back foot is just barely at an angle. And then just a side note as far as compression, the more you pull the belly in and bring your heart forward, the longer you're going to have the spine. So with osteoarthritis in the lumbar, going back into warrior one like this can really trigger it. I always show and I shouldn't show. Okay, so arms by your sides. As you inhale, bend into the front knee, raise both arms overhead. And then exhale, come out slowly, lowering the arms at the same time. I'm straightening the front leg. And then inhale, coming into the pose, bending into that front knee. Exhaling, coming out. Inhaling, coming in. Then as you exhale, you're going to bring your torso forward, arms by the ears, belly engaged. Exhale, draw the elbows back like you're trying to touch them behind your back. Inhale, bring the arms by the ears, keeping the spine forward if possible. Exhale, draw the shoulders back. Inhale, elbows by the spine by the ears. And then exhale, squeeze the elbows back, and we're going to stay here for a few breaths. Belly in. If you feel compression in your low back, press your heart more forward. This is for the bone building aspects of it. I'll be back in a minute. Good. It's a little bit of work, huh? Good. Take one more deep inhale, and as you exhale, come out. And then step the back foot to meet the front. Pause for a moment in between. And just notice the difference between each side. I'm just turning some fans on, guys, sorry. You can tell I don't know what I'm doing. So do you feel the difference between each side? And was that a strong pose? Yeah. Okay, we're going to step the other foot back now. Thank you. Square your hips towards the front. Good. Then take an exhale where you are. And then as you inhale, bend into the front knee and raise the arms up by your ears. Exhale, come out. Inhaling, coming in. Keep the belly engaged. Exhaling out. Inhaling in. This time as you exhale, double pat yourself on the back to get the elbows involved. That's just one modification. Inhale up. As you exhale, sink your spine forward, draw the elbows behind you. Keep the spine forward as you inhale and bring the arms by the ears. Exhale, bring the arms back. Inhale, arms by the ears. Exhale, bring the arms back, and you're going to hold them there. Now try this cue. See if you can pull the shoulder blades together, especially the lower shoulder blade. Good. One more deep inhale. And then as you exhale, straighten the front leg and lower the arms. And then step the back foot to meet the front. Good. Okay. Chair pose is one of my favorites for bone building strength. Full chair is one of my least favorites because of the osteoarthritis in the spine. In my spine in particular, because it hurts. But it's one of these, and you can do it in stages for people. And keep in mind, they can have their butt on the wall too if balance is an issue. So I like to tell people, to, as they exhale, come over, bend their knees a lot, and then you don't want that real arch in the low back. You want to pull the belly in, tuck the tailbone slightly. They could stay here. This might be their chair. They might bring their torso down further. They might let their hands come to the floor or a block. Or you can use the arms by the ears as a counterweight and sink down a little bit more. So, oh, that was my knee. So feel free to go in, stay in just either for 10 breaths or come out when you're ready, because you guys can gauge where you are today.
So what do you call the half chair? That's the chair.
No, half chair is arms all the way, spine vertical or horizontal to the floor.
Okay.
Yeah, so you're not doing that back bend. Good. Does anyone feel this in their quads?
Oh, no.
Yeah. Good. Try when you're there, try drawing the shoulder blades together. Good. And then come out when you're ready. Then with an inhale, press your feet into the floor and come up. Exhale, release your arms. Roll the shoulders a few times. Good. Okay. I want to move down to the floor, so I'm gonna, before we do though, I want you guys to be able to see. So if you know you're pretty kyphotic, do that cue. We're gonna do Chakravakasana, that flowy cat-cow. So you're gonna pull back on the hands without moving them so that you take the rounding more into the low back. But if you have a flat cervical spine, thoracic spine, which some people do, then you wanna round the thoracic spine. It's about reversing so that you're getting the stretch in both directions, if that makes sense. So I'm gonna, actually before we go down, I wanna do half. So does anyone teach the roll up like a rag doll from a forward bend? Not anymore, okay. So I just wanna explain why that's not, it's not optimal for the discs at all. And if you're working with someone who's at osteoporosis risk, they can sustain a fracture because you're getting anterior compression all the way up. So, and I like to cue this because I retrain people. I work with a lot of back problems, and rolling up, in my opinion, if you're 20 and you're healthy, it's okay. But I don't find it all that beneficial for anyone. There is an argument that you can soothe the autonomic nervous system, but the quickest way to access the autonomic nervous system is through the breath. So I'd much rather get there through the breath than through rolling up like a rag doll. And you're also, if you're rolling up like that, you're not strengthening. Again, I should not do it. Yeah, I always do that, and then I'm like wondering why I'm like, you're not strengthening the musculature of the low back, and we spend our life like this. So we want to come up with a strong back. So I'm going to do varying degrees, and I'm a big fan of bending the knees as you're moving in and out of poses because it takes the stress out of the hamstrings and stops. If someone has tight hamstrings and you go into a forward bend, it'll block the forward rotation of the pelvis, which can make the spine hinge. So coming up, we'll go in and out, but coming up, it's taken me a while to figure out how to cue this because, everyone hears differently. I'll say bring your hands to your hips, draw the shoulder blades together, keep the chin slightly tucked like Jalandhara Bandha, and then you're going to bring the chest away from the belly like you're coming up in a bit of a back bend, coming up with that nice long spine. And occasionally you'll see people rolling up, and thank you Leslie Kamenoff for this, because I would try and cue, and nothing would happen. Do you mind doing a forward bend and kind of round? Just do a forward bend and then come up. So if someone's coming up and they're rounding a little bit in the spine, go ahead and come up. I can go here and say, bring your chest away from your belly and draw the shoulder blades together, and that will automatically kind of elongate them. Go ahead and come all the way up. Good. No, but then you just round it. So you wanna draw the shoulder blades together. Okay, so inhaling, coming up, squeeze here. Yeah, and then continue to come all the way up. Beautiful. And then eventually there's two things. You'll even hear it in my voice. I already have this cervical curve, and can you feel what that did to my voice? So I want to keep it really tucked. If somebody has a flattened cervical curve, invite them to do that. Because, I just like doing that. Because that will start to invite the curve back. The curves are there for a reason. We just want to bring them into balance. Okay, so I'm going to invite you to grab your hiney. Oh, and one other thing, I can't just talk about, I have to talk about back health. Look at the fulcrum of this to my fingertips, and I'm an extreme example. Coming in and out, that puts a huge load on the lumbar spine. So it's totally fine to do it, but you need to keep the arms by the ears. If you're coming up and you're dragging, you can really hurt yourself. You want to come up keeping them by the ears. This is a modification. This is a modification. For today's practice, we're just going to grab our butt. Because why not? Inhale, get nice and tall. Exhale, belly in. You're going to bend the knees, slide the hands down the back of the legs as you come forward. Let the head hang at the bottom. Then inhale, you're going to come all the way back up with that long spine. Good. And then exhale, go forward again. We're going to pause in the forward bend and do a full head roll. Let go of any tension in your neck. And it's safe to do a full head roll here because there's no weight on the neck. Then we're going to come up halfway as you inhale. Draw the chest away from the belly for Ardha Uttanasana. Draw the shoulder blades together. Tuck the chin so the neck is long. And this is, I tell my students, I want to be able to serve tea on their back. Good. One more deep inhale. As you exhale, fold all the way forward. Use your hands for support, and you're going to make your way down to all fours. Mindy, do you want a blanket? Are you okay? Yeah, just because this floor is really hard. I'm going to offer you both a blanket.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah. And if someone has severe osteoarthritis in their knees, going all the way back into child's pose might not happen. It might be too painful. So you can tell them to bring the hips back halfway or just only as far as is comfortable. And you can also even put a bolster or a blanket behind their knees to block them from going too far back. So start with a flat back, belly button pulled towards spine. Take a deep inhale. As you exhale, round the low back. Release the elbows to the floor and then the hips towards the heels, letting your neck relax at the bottom. Then inhale, drawing back on the palms, coming forward, looking up slightly. And if you had a light in the middle of your chest, you would want it to shine forward, not down. Exhale, belly in, round the low back. Release the elbows and then the hips. And just start to move at your own pace. It's almost like a wave moving. And you can feel the difference in the flexion and extension. Anytime you're doing movement with the spine, you're imbibing the discs with fluid. And that's what keeps us young. Kind of. Huh?
So we're keeping our shoulders over our wrists, we're not going forward.
No, you don't want to go too far forward. Your hips are only going to go an inch or two beyond your knees. So you don't put a lot of stress on the joint. Now finish the round that you're on and come to lie on your tummy. Prone back bends are really good for a lot of things. Strengthening the erectors, imbibing the discs with fluid, retracting bulging lumbar discs. And it is one of the best, safest way to strengthen the bones of the spine. So depending on your audience, this would be a good one for osteoporosis if they can get on the floor. So you bring your arms back by your sides, palm down. And if any cue I give you isn't comfortable for you, ignore me and do what you need to do and tickle your neighbor. Okay, gently press the pubic bone into the ground to lengthen the lumbar and see if you can press the tops of the toes into the floor.
Justine, I can't do back bends.
That's totally fine. Yeah.
Inversions.
Yeah, I hear you. So exhale completely. As you inhale, lift up head, neck, and shoulders. Draw the shoulder blades together, lengthen through the crown of the head. Exhale, abs in as you come down. Feel free to turn your head. Inhaling, coming up, lengthening through the crown of the head.
Are we keeping our hands on the floor?
You can lift them if you would like. Exhale, come down. And then inhale, come up. One more time. We're going to pretend like we're holding this for 10 breaths or any number in between there. But for reasons of me not wanting you to hate me, go ahead and come down. That's more of an osteoporosis one. I want to add in one for osteoarthritis in the neck and shoulders. So bring the back of the hands to the low back. This is going to be a repetitive one because with osteoarthritis we want repetition. If it hurts to bring your hands onto your back, you can let them rest on the floor. Back of the hands because we're going to be sweeping the arms forward and saluting. It's going to be opposite arm and leg, and we will look away from the arm that salutes so that we're stretching the neck. So from here, as you inhale, lift the left leg, reach the right arm forward as you lift head, neck, and shoulders. Salute. Exhale, come down, turn your head to the left. Inhaling, lifting the right leg, reaching the right arm forward. Saluting to avoid stressing the shoulder. Inhale, come down, look right. Good. Inhaling, coming up. Left leg, right arm, salute. Exhale as you come down, sweep the arm back, look away from it, and come back to that starting position. Then inhaling, coming up, right leg, left arm, reaching, saluting. Exhale, come down, sweep the arm, and look away. Good. Go ahead and bring your hands under your shoulders. Press up to all fours, belly engaged to protect your back, and sink back into child's pose unless child's pose hurts your knees or isn't comfortable for whatever reason, in which case you can come onto your back and hug your knees into your chest.